People, we are back with another question and we are going to jump in straight to it. So the main bit of the question is, I'm currently 39 years old, turning 40 soon. I've been gym before, but never for long enough to see results. But I'm thinking to start back again and try to be consistent. But I wanted to know, have I lost out on the noob gains and is it worth it if my goal is to mainly build muscle? I don't want to invest the time if I won't look much different down the line. Okay, we made it. So in regards to that question, those of you that started training like after the age of 30, please comment down below your thoughts. I think it'll be really good and insightful for other people that are considering starting the gym to kind of see the pros and cons and how you manage to get on and how often you train, etc. And I'll also give this guy my opinion as well. But yeah, I want to build that good community when it comes to these Q&A questions. So let's address the first one. Have I lost out on the new gains? Well, it's a yes and a no. So at the age of, say, 40, let's just go with 40. So at the age of 40, are you going to build muscle as quickly as you could at probably 20 years old? The answer is no. However, if you have been on and off with the gym, but it's never really been consistent, you have still like an element of newbie gains that's going to happen, because if you've never really stuck to the gym for long periods of time, like at least more than a month or two consistently going like at least 3 times a week, the chances are that you've probably got loads of gains still on the table that you can attain. So if you're someone now and you don't look broad at all and you're fairly on the skinny side maybe, or even on the chubby side, extra thick, you can still be able to build muscle. It would be different if, for example, you had trained, somewhat consistently for a year, 2 years, but just never saw results. Then I'd say, yeah, the newbie gains is probably off the table, even though the chances are that you probably haven't been training intense enough to really maximize the amount of muscle you probably could have built. Now, the main thing you need to really focus on, putting the new gains to the side, is the fact that you can definitely see results. Like you can, at the age of 40, you can see results. There are many people, if you want to find them on social media, there's like pages and groups that like fit over 40, fit over 50, where people have started the gym, like started at these ages and have managed to make really, really good physiques. Now, are you going to like these super Instagram shredded, super muscular bound people that claim to be natural? Probably not. However, you can definitely build a better physique than what you have. And let's be real, I know that you mainly said your goal is to build muscle, but getting fitter at these ages is going to be better for you lifelong anyway. Building more stronger, denser bones help you a lot as you age, because you don't want brittle bones. You want to be able to walk and have a level of mobility as you age. So I definitely recommend that, which is also why you should probably mix in some sort of mobility work too. But in regards to getting into the gym and getting into fitness, I would highly recommend it, even if your goal wasn't muscle building. That being said, I do want to still focus on your question, which was your main goal is muscle building. So I don't want to just like go on a huge tangent, but I do believe that even outside of like the rapid amounts of muscle you can probably potentially build, you should definitely still consider doing this anyway, because there's so much more benefits that you will start getting as you age. Especially at 40, you may have kids. Being more mobile and being stronger in general is going to be a big plus. Me being a new dad now, boy, I have seen so much thankful benefits in the years I've put into actually training that has translated into like keeping up with my kid and moving her around and consistently carrying and not really getting tired. Those are huge wins that I am so thankful for being in the gym.
Well, that's what happens when you spend all your time training.
And your second question is more, I kind of touched on it roughly, but in general, you're more or less saying you don't really want to invest the time if you don't think you'll look better. And I've kind of already said that, and you will improve. And something you haven't really mentioned is anything about the diet. So if you're going to actually, your main goal is to build muscle, and I'm assuming be able to see visual differences, you will have to make sure that you're willing to change your diet as well, or improve your diet. For example, if you don't really have a high protein diet, I'd recommend it. As a bare simple goal for most men over the height of like 5'5", I normally say try and aim for 140 grams of protein, like overall over the course of the whole day. That's a nice goal to aim for. Roughly what people like to say is per 1 pound of your body weight, consume 1 gram of protein. So assuming that you're not severely obese, say that you're an average size man around 160 pounds or 170 pounds, you would aim to have around 150 to 170 grams of protein per day. That's like a good goal to aim for. But as a bare minimum for most of you watching, if you have more than 140 grams of protein per day, that's probably going to make good improvements for many of you, because on average, people that aren't really into fitness and don't really track this stuff, they usually get in between 70 and 80 grams of protein. which is really, really, really low, especially if you're a dude looking to actually build muscle. So I'll definitely start tracking your calories if you don't already, or at least a few times a week, because sometimes telling people to track 7 days a week can be overwhelming. But try and track the main meals you have. And the best advice I'll probably give you is create at least 5 go-to high protein meals that you can basically make like the back of your hand, so you don't need to consistently always weigh everything. You only have to do it like once every 2 weeks. So if you create certain meals and just kind of go through them as and when, like pick and choose those meals, but they're always around, 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal, and the calories are usually similar, it makes it so much easier on a daily to weekly basis for you to get in a high protein diet without thinking. Whereas if you're someone that may be super, super rare, that has a brand new meal every single day, that's going to make it a little bit harder. Whereas for most of us, we usually only have like about 4 main meals that we have that we interchange throughout the week. So if you can make all those meals, like improve them to be higher protein and have the calories where you need them, you'll probably see results without even having to think too much. And then when you get to the point where you may be struggling a bit and you want to make more progress, that is when you should probably start tracking a little bit more heavily, including the sources, and obviously the stuff that you drink in a day, because that's a hidden calorie like gold mine. That's a lot of calories. But in general, you can definitely make a good improvement with your physique. So don't think that because you're 40, you can't see improvements. You definitely can. I would almost go to say that this is almost an excuse mindset. There's too many people that, because they have reservations about doing the thing, because it is going to take some effort, they'd rather just like excuse away and make reasons as to why they can't start, so it makes them feel better for not beginning. I would avoid that sort of mindset, regardless of if it's to do with the gym or even outside the gym. If there's something that you ideally would like to have, I would try and build towards it, even if it's little by little. For example, you start off with even 2 days a week. It's better than training 0. So I'd start off, personally, if it was me, I'd recommend at least 3 days a week to start off with. Then in time, if you start to enjoy it and have more time, 4 days a week. Now, in your message, you haven't mentioned kids or anything, but in the event that you do have kids and you may be short on time, I would also invest in buying weights for the house, maybe if you just can't make it to the gym. But if you can, I would personally always recommend the gym over training at home, because home has so many distractions, especially if you have kids. But if you have to train at home, get yourself some dumbbells. Ideally, each dumbbell at least 20 kg. You can make some good progress with that. Also, make sure you got a weight bench that inclines. If possible, a treadmill or a walking pad if you're someone that's looking to lose weight. But those things, in honesty, will get you a big heap forward. The fact that you haven't really been consistent with the gym, if you stick with these things I've mentioned in this video, I believe you'll make good progress. TJ from the future here. I just realized I forgot to mention something that you may think is like super vital. So in case you're someone that's thinking that at the age of 40, you're worried that your testosterone is what's going to hold you back to building muscle, your testosterone doesn't decrease that much from your 20s. It's more into like your 50s and 60s where it really dips down. That being said, the more you train and actually push yourself in the gym, the slower the decline in your testosterone is. So the best thing you can actually even do is get into resistance training. So regardless of you mainly wanting the goal of building muscle, like if you train, that is going to help slow down the decline of your testosterone. As I don't want you to be one of those people that try to almost use their metabolism slowing down as an excuse for not seeing results. For most people over the age of 27, to be honest, the main reason they start gaining body fat and may not look as good or move as good as they did when they're younger is because they don't move as much, period. For example, they don't run out playing sports like they used to. They may not be exercising, may not be walking in general as much, because instead of public transport and trains, they're now driving to A to B. So in general, you become more of a couch potato. And those are the biggest factors in weight gain, reduction in testosterone as well, because you're just a very inactive man. So be honest with yourself, and the more honest you are with yourself, the more likely you are going to be able to address these things that you may be slacking on. So I'd make a list of like, how much sleep do I get in? How often do I even move per day? All these things, I'd start pointing out all the things that you're doing wrong or could improve and start knocking them off one by one. So I wanted to make sure to include that in the video, because I realized when I watched it back, I did not mention that. And those of you in my comments that are watching, I'm pretty sure you'll have some advice for this guy as well. So please comment down below your thoughts. But with that being said, if you're someone that finds yourself in the same position as this guy and you're just kind of not sure what to do next or how to balance in life to really fit in fitness or improving or what foods to eat, feel free to check the description box for my coaching links and I can help you with it. I can definitely get you on track. My main goal is helping busy 9-to-5ers or busy parents schedule their life and help them build a routine that they can actually sustain to see results. But anyways, people, thanks for watching the video and I will see you guys in the next one.